What's up, people? Joe Winko here, your favorite Hawaiian guy, and welcome to my first episode of Joe Winko Talk for year 2018. So, yeah, the heater just turned on. It's been cold here down south, so that's the reason why you're hearing that right now. But, anyhow, what I'm going to be talking about is this fairly recent news story that just went viral a couple days ago. Well, I'm only 6 days late, but I heard about this I heard about this story earlier. This famous YouTuber, his name is Logan Paul. He's this 22-year-old YouTuber guy who's like really famous and really big on YouTube and makes a lot of money from his YouTube videos. Unlike I do, because I can't make money off of my YouTube videos. I'll have the link to the video of me explaining the reasons why I can't in the pinned comments if you guys seriously want to know. But I'm not going to talk about that much in this video. What happened was he went to Japan and he was recording a video of his whole trip in Japan and everything. And what happened was they went to the suicide forest in Japan, and he found a guy hanging out in the forest, and he recorded it on video, and he posted it on YouTube. And it caused like a lot of controversy, and everyone got really mad at him for it. Now, personally, I don't watch Logan Paul at all because I never really watch people on YouTube at all. Like, I literally never watch people on YouTube at all except for the Young Turks. That's actually where I heard of this news story. So I barely know anything about him, really. I heard his name like a couple times before on Life's Biggest Questions, but I never really watched any of his videos till now, and the only video I watched was the one that caused a lot of controversy. He took it down, but a lot of news stations like re-uploaded it and rebroadcasted it, and it's still out there. I'm not sure about the whole video, but the suicide forest of Japan, it's like this place where people go to commit suicide. It's become infamous for a place for people who go and commit suicide, and I've heard of the suicide forest before. Years ago, I read about it. I read about it for a brief time. And he found the guy hanging in the forest, but he did, like, add a block to block out the guy's face and everything. And I saw the video. What they're really angry about, what I thought at first, I thought they were angry because he was showing the body hanging and everything, but what they were actually angry about was how he was making jokes about it, because when he first sees the body out in the forest, he seems legitimately freaked out about it, and he seems like legitimately concerned about it. But when, after a while, he starts telling jokes about the body, and he starts laughing and giggling, and he says, "What, you never stood next to a dead body before?" Now, I honestly have mixed feelings about this, really. At first, because so many people have been bashing him about it and been criticizing him and saying some pretty negative stuff to him about it. And at first I didn't really fully understand the whole thing, but now I kind of do. At first I thought people were being a tad bit too harsh, and in all honesty, I still kind of do to some level. As I said, I have mixed feelings about this. I'm not sure exactly what to say. Because the thing is, he recorded the video and he had a negative reaction, but the thing was, he made jokes about it. The thing was, he didn't edit that out and he uploaded it anyway. So that's the reason why I'm starting to shift towards maybe people aren't being too harsh about this, because suicide is a very serious issue. And the first thing I did when I heard the story, and the first thing I did when I finally figured out all the facts, I put myself in not Logan Paul's position, but the guy he found out in the forest. Because this is going to be kind of gloomy and kind of a personal point. As you all know, I have tried suicide before, way back in 2014. I have a video, an episode of Joe Winko Talk I did a year or so ago, of me explaining why and what happened and everything. I'll have the link to that in the pinned comment. But another thing, more recently, in August of 2017, what happened was, this was back when I was living in Wisconsin, and as you all know, I'm a type 1 diabetic and I'm insulin dependent. So without insulin, I wouldn't survive for very long. I would be dead in 5 to 8 days. I have a whole video of me explaining that in the pinned comment. I never really knew for sure if this counted as suicide, but one day when I was living back in Wisconsin, I was on state health insurance in Wisconsin. That's how I was able to get my insulin. I got a letter in the mail from the state that said they were going to cut me off of my state health insurance. And if they would have done that, I would have had no way to get insulin and I would have died. So I was really upset about that. And what I was going to do was, I didn't want to die of no insulin because that's not really a good way to go out. It's kind of a miserable death nonetheless if you watch that video and listen to me explain exactly what happens. But I hated the state of Wisconsin, and I didn't want to die in the state of Wisconsin at all, because there were too many bad memories, and I didn't want to die there. So I got on my computer, and I got on Google Earth, and I discovered this beach. I don't know for sure if it was really abandoned, but it's this beach in coastal Virginia, near the North Carolina and Virginia state line. I found that on Google Maps and Google Earth, and I wanted to run away there, and I wanted to die there, because I wanted to be all by myself when I died. I didn't want anyone with me at all, and I was going to run away to the beach, and how I was actually going to die was from... it wasn't from no insulin. The reason why I didn't is because I mentioned to my psychiatrist that they were cutting me off of my state health insurance, and what she did was she wrote them a note telling them not to, and she listed my mental illnesses and everything, because I suffer from autism, ADHD, personality disorder, and a lot of other stuff too. She wrote them a note telling them not to, and then they called me right away and told me that they weren't going to cut me off my state health insurance, and then I didn't have to die of no insulin or die on a beach in coastal Virginia, because I was too worried, because I didn't want to die of no insulin. I'd much rather go that way instead. So if it wasn't for that, I would definitely not be here recording this video. I'd be buried out in a pauper's graveyard in Virginia, and no one would know who I am, because I don't know anyone in Virginia at all. And another thing, I thought about that. That's what came to my mind when I first heard this news story. And what I thought at first was, a lot of people were saying in reaction to Logan Paul that, oh, you shouldn't show that guy hanging from a tree at that vulnerable moment and everything. But for me, the truth is, if I did die, and if I was found dead somewhere, and if I really did go out to that beach and die, or if I was left for dead in Arkansas, wandering around aimlessly and collapsing and dying, I would want people to see what my body looked like. I would want people to know exactly the condition I was found in and the stage I was found in, because I would want people to know where it all ended and how it all ended and what was left after it happened to me, because that's the whole point of my YouTube videos and my YouTube channel, to get my story out there. So that's the thing. So I didn't really... But I know not everyone I definitely know that not everyone thinks the same way as I do. But, so, I didn't understand why everyone was so mad, but the fact that he was making jokes about the body, saying, oh, you never stood next to a dead body before? I thought about this. What if Logan Paul what if I did die on that beach in coastal Virginia? This was on August 25th of 2017. That was the date that it would have been, because I posted an ad on Craigslist that an afternoon before that, saying that I was looking for a ride to this beach in Virginia. And the scary thing was, I actually found someone who was going to take me there, but I didn't have to, because they didn't cut me off my state health insurance. I thought that, what if I actually did go to that beach and die on August 25th, and Logan Paul went to that beach and was filming a video by it, and was saying "Oh, you never stood next to a dead body before?" Well, first of all, I wouldn't have been found hanging. I would have been found laying on the beach dead. I wouldn't be hanging at all. But another thing is, if he was making, like, I wouldn't mind him filming it. I would be actually grateful that he has, because I'd want people to know, like, my last moments and my last moments on Earth as being alive. But the thing is, with him making jokes about it, I would think that's very disrespectful. Like, if he found me laying on a beach in Virginia dead and he was saying, "Oh, you never stood next to a dead body before?" The reason why is because I would have been suffering, and I would have suffered at the end. It would not have been good. And what brought me to the end, what would have brought me to the end that day, would have been, that was not really something I was happy about. Oh yay, I'm going to go to Virginia to die because they cut me off my health insurance. No, that was not something to be happy about. I was miserable and I was upset, but I was accepting of it, and I was like, okay, it's finally my time to go. But if he was there making jokes like that, that would be like, oh, that'd be absolutely shameful. Really, I would definitely, if I was like floating there as a ghost and seeing him do that, I would be very angry, because I would be like, that's not funny. I suffered. I'm laying here on this beach dead, and you're making fun of me and making fun of what I went through. That would not be good, and I'd be very angry. So I do understand, and I'm pretty sure that the people who are criticizing him on that are all saying the same thing and everything. But when I watched that video, what I saw was he looked legitimately really freaked out when he saw that body. And I think that what it was he was so like freaked out and scared that he was trying to, I think it was more nervous than, I don't think he actually thought it was funny that the body was hanging from the tree. I think he was just really, really nervous and was just trying to, this is an extremely poor choice of words, lighten the mood, probably, because in his video in Japan, he was running around the city acting goofy and everything. So he probably just got carried away with that. And it's kind of like the time I went to Joplin, Missouri, to the memorial park in Joplin. I felt like I was being a little bit disrespectful in that video, like, because I was kind of like, I was kind of chuckling a bit in the video, but it wasn't because I thought it was funny that a tornado came through and killed 160 people. The reason why I was chuckling is because I felt so nervous to actually be there and everything, and it was just overwhelming. So that's the reason why I was chuckling. And I remember one thing I said in that video was that I was going to walk around the memorial park and that I have all the time in the world. And I felt like that was an extremely disrespectful thing to say at a place where a whole bunch of people died horrible deaths. So that's what I apologized for in my episode of Joe Winko Talk. It didn't get any backlash because not that many people watch my videos, which is probably a good thing. But however, I think that it's kind of rough, really, what to say about this. Like, what he did was definitely bad, but I'm not sure if he deserves to be like constantly like bashed for it and everything, because the ironic thing is, we're everyone's like really mad at him because he was mocking a suicide victim. That's exactly what he was doing. But the thing is, like, with all these people hating on him and bashing him for it, that's kind of one of the things that brings people to commit suicide. Like, how would they all feel if they were bashing him and then he just got so upset and then he actually did take his own life? I mean, what he did was bad, and I'm pretty sure he knows it. He definitely knows it by now. He posted the apology video. And yeah, what he did was messed up. But, you know, what he did was really messed up. I'm definitely not underscoring it or anything like that. But still, it's good that he took it down. I'm glad he did. But there's kind of more to this story. Japan isn't really happy about what he did about the Tokyo video or the suicide in the forest. Like he was doing a lot of mischievous stuff in Japan. Like he was riding on vehicles and he was recording at places he wasn't supposed to be recording at, and he kind of was being mischievous to people. That's what I saw in part of the video too. And I didn't like Japan out of all places. Do not go to Japan and cause all of that, like being loud and obnoxious, because I don't really understand. I don't really know about the Japanese culture very much, but from what I know, I'm pretty sure they definitely do not like that or appreciate that really. And the thing that shocked me was suicide rates are really high in Japan. And that shocked me because I always thought Japan was like a happy place where the people respect each other and where the people are there for each other. But the suicide rates are high in Japan. And it's really sad, really. And I felt really sorry for the man in the video. But he definitely didn't deserve to be mocked by Logan Paul because that man was suffering. And I have mixed feelings on this. Like, I want to say that people are being a little too harsh to Logan Paul. I don't know anything about Logan Paul. I don't watch his videos at all or any of that. This is like the first time I heard his name before on YouTube, and I heard him be mentioned before, but this is like the first time I ever saw a video of him. But on the other hand, with him out there in that forest, and when I put myself in that man's position, the one hanging from the tree, and with him mocking the man and everything, it's kind of, it's really insensitive, really, what he did. So I don't know where I stand on this issue. I definitely think that what Logan Paul did was bad. He definitely does deserve repercussions for it, but I don't think the whole entire, well, I want to say the whole entire world, but like I don't think like millions of people should be like bashing him and like tearing him down like that, because ironically that's the thing that actually leads people. That's one of the things that actually leads people to commit suicide. And that's really all I have to say. It's a messed up story, really, and it's really sad and really disturbing. He just really should have not included that part in the video at all. Like if he wanted to like he if he like seriously wanted to include like the body part and everything, I don't know about that really, but the part that he mainly should have edited out was him saying you never been next to a dead body before and him laughing and joking about it. That was not good. So yeah, that's basically it for this episode of Joe Winko Talk. So, what did you all think of it? Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comments below. And don't bash me for my opinion. I was just being completely honest because I never hold anything back. So that's basically it. So don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. So that's it. Peace out, people.